Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. Today I'm talking about why walking away from someone you love is difficult, why it's hard, why it's a really not very easy thing to do basically. Because the thing is when a lot of people have this kind of notion that you can get over someone really, really fast. And it makes you weak if you cannot get over someone really fast instantly. And basically what I want to say to you is that it's completely normal to feel absolutely rubbish after you've walked away from someone. And it can also be really difficult to actually walk away from someone. And the reason why that is because there's such a strong attachment. You have a lot of emotion invested in that person. So, I have this thing that I talk about a lot, and it's called like the emotional bank account, right? And basically, your emotional bank account with someone that you love is really, really high, right? Because you've spent time with them, you've got loads of memories together, you've got loads of feelings wrapped up around them. Whereas with someone who you might just start dating, your romantic, emotional bank account is going to be really, really low because you don't have all those memories invested and those emotions and those, all those kind of like things attached to them, because it's through time that the emotional bank account rises, right? So, when you break up with someone and when you're about to walk away, and why it's difficult to walk away from someone is because that emotional bank account is so high. So basically, you just kind of want to pull the plug on it and let it to start draining. And a lot of the time you can do this by focusing on other things. And this is why it's really important that you don't go into a rebound relationship. Because if you, go from one relationship straight to another, your emotional bank account with the other person is still high. And that's why it's important that you have time to kind of reflect, think about the relationship, kind of get over it. Spend more time doing other things, focusing on your hobbies for a little bit before you get into a new relationship. Because, that emotional bank account is still high. And if you go straight into another relationship, you're just dragging the old baggage with you. So you do need time to walk away from, once you've walked away from someone, once you've broken up with someone, to get over it. You do need that time. You do need that space. You do need that time to grow and develop. So that's why it's difficult to walk away from someone that you love, because of all the memories, the emotions, the experiences, all those things, all the emotion that you've put into it, all the work you've put into it, So, that's why it's difficult. That is why it's difficult. But, you can make it a lot more easier for yourself by, when that romantic relationship has ended, trying to get rid of all the baggage, basically. So you need to get rid of all the photos. You need to get rid of all the emotional triggers. You might want to have some time away from your home if there's a lot of memories invested in your home. Spending time with friends, doing new things, doing new interesting things that you've never done before so you can get new experiences. But I feel like a lot of people feel like they can get over someone really fast. And I think sometimes this can be if you've got an ex, for example, who has moved on really fast, or you've seen people that seem to move on fast. I can guarantee you, unless they're like a narcissist or they're someone who has, something wrong up here, it's not easy to move on from those people. And I don't care what anyone says to you, even if it looks like on the outside that they've moved on, you don't know 100% what is going on through their head. I can guarantee that most of the people who look like they've moved on haven't moved on, right? You need time to process things. So when you see people entering rebound relationships and you're sitting there thinking, oh God, I wish I could, just forget about my ex like that and just start a new relationship straight away. You do not want to be thinking that, okay? They are still carrying that old baggage into that new relationship. They do still care about the ex. They do still have a lot of feelings towards their ex. They're not over it. They still think about them all the time. They probably still dream about them. There's a lot of things going on. They've probably got a load of triggers. When anytime a song about them comes on the radio, they're going to remember it. I can guarantee you they haven't forgotten about it. And just because they look like they've moved on doesn't mean that they have. You don't know what's going on in someone else's head. And just because they look like they've moved on from the outside doesn't mean that they've moved on the inside. Now, for example, it might be the case that it's been a good few months and it now looks like they're over it. that's probably more true. They probably are more over it now. So it's really important that you give yourself those months to after a relationship to rebuild yourself, to start some new healthy habits, to get over it, to feel better, to dive into your hobbies, doing great things for yourself. And that's essentially, what you can do, to help you walk away, because sometimes walking away is difficult. Like, it's not easy to walk away from someone that you love because of that high emotional bank account, right? Which is why you need time. And I feel like sometimes, it can be really difficult to walk away from someone because of just all these like big attachments that you have to them. Like especially if you're together for a long time. So if you were together for years, you've probably got mutual friends, you've got all these other, you might have some financial entanglements, you might have popped out a few kids. There's a lot of things that intertwine you with someone that you've been with for a long time. And it might not be the case that you have anything like that, but you've still spent that time with them. And that's why it can be really, really difficult to walk away from someone you love, especially when you've had to spend a lot of time with them and you have all these other entanglements that you kind of need to sort out before you can actually fully start moving on and things like that. But if you've got kids and if you've got some financial entanglements that might, last a few years, then you probably won't be able to get away from them, especially if you've got kids together. Like if you have to share custody of your kids, then yeah, you're gonna have to see this person a lot, and it can be difficult. But when you starting to rebuild your life, that's when you're gonna start feeling that's when it's going to make it a lot easier, when you start making new friends or just having new experiences and you start dating new people, and you start trying to basically design the life that you've always wanted, because I feel like a breakup is a great opportunity to press reset on your life and to start afresh. And I think it's an exciting opportunity for some people who have been in relationships that haven't worked out. You now have the opportunity to go and find someone who is right for you. You now have the opportunity to start a new adventure and to start living the life that perhaps you've always wanted, that perhaps you couldn't get while you was in that relationship. So don't see it as something bad. See it as an opportunity. It is tough to obviously kind of, drain that emotional bank account, which is why it's so difficult to walk away from someone that you love. But it can be done, and you can have the right attitude about it. So having the right attitude about it is so much better. And the right attitude is kind of precisely what I said. See it as an adventure, see it as an opportunity to press restart on your life, to make new friends, to do new things, to have more time on your hands, to do the things that you care about. See it as that. Don't see it as such a bad, horrible thing because you really love the person. See it as a new opportunity and have that right, brilliant attitude that will help you get through it. Because most of the time, your mindset is everything. So sometimes it really is just a mindset game and a mind game that you can play with yourself. Just switching it around and seeing it as a positive, it can really, really help walk away from someone you love and make the transition from that old life with them to this new life, whatever that may be. It's got a big question mark on it now, right? Because you're the one that's going to have to answer, what's coming next for me? What is coming next for me? And it's absolutely down to you what actually happens next. And that can be a very exciting thing. But, it can be a difficult transition to go from, being really invested in someone to this new life, right? But the great thing is that if you have the right attitude about it, you're going to get over it much faster. You're going to feel a lot better about it much faster if you have the right attitude. So attitude is everything. If you see it as a really sad, horrible thing and you're never going to get over it, then that's exactly what's going to happen, right? You're never going to get over it because that's how you see it. But if you see that being single as a new opportunity to start afresh, to press the reset button, to find someone better, to have new experiences, to finally work on your hobbies, then you're going to do that, right? It's kind of like the Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you're right. Right, so that's kind of how you kind of figure that out. It's up to you how to go forward. It's up to you. You're going to make up your mind to see this as a positive thing, and it'll be a lot easier. So thank you so much for watching. If there's anything that you would like me to discuss in a future video, if you have any questions for me, then please leave it down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.